Hey everyone, my name is Jake. I'm a member of the 320 Coalition and the Party for Socialism and Liberation. And today, for Black History Month, I'm going to be talking shortly about Harry Haywood, who was an African American born in South Omaha in 1898 to a working class family. The lifelong activist and longtime communist first became politically conscious during his service in World War I. In Europe, he realized that the so-called war to end all wars pitted workers and colonized peoples against only other workers and colonized peoples in a bloodletting fought solely for the profits of the capitalist classes of Europe and America. Haywood witnessed firsthand while serving in France that U.S. Army officers specifically instructed French citizens to disrespect black soldiers and even explicitly encouraged violence against them. Upon his return to the United States, Haywood quickly joined the Communist Party USA and became a professional revolutionary. A few years later, in the mid-1920s, he then traveled to the newly founded Soviet Union, where he studied that country's policies regarding nationalities that had been heavily repressed under the pre-revolutionary Tsardom, for example, those in Central Asia and the Caucasus. In the Soviet Union, those groups were elevated for the first time. Communities' cultures and languages were validated and put at the same level as those of the Russians, and they were given their own autonomous governments within the Union and also allowed the right of secession. Haywood, who notably faced no racism or little racism in the Soviet Union, where racism was literally and functionally illegal, was inspired by such a system. He then returned to the United States a few years later and went to work on theorizing a potential application of similar policies, but for the American context. His Black Belt thesis argues strongly that black communities that at the time had been heavily concentrated in the South made up their own oppressed nation within the United States with its own de facto languages, cultures, and shared history. Because of this, the people of the Black Belt also deserve the right of self-determination. Haywood was not calling for secession or civil war, of course, but rather for black people and other peoples as well to have the ability to chart their own course. So many lessons can still be learned from Harry Haywood's legacy nearly 40 years after his death. As communities of color remain violently oppressed today by the capitalist state and their police, the right of self-determination and other political rights must be asserted by all progressive people and forces in society, because without the right to political power, a group of people ultimately has no true power. Thank you.